Okay, here we go. Welcome to Tuesday, everyone. Attention Training Tuesday. Um, this is a theme that's very top of mind for me these days. I'm doing a bunch of different things. One of them is I'm writing a book. I'm in the throes of writing a book, which is super exciting and takes a very specific type of attention and sort of a part of my brain. Um, and then we've been also working at the clinic on launching insurance coverage for a lot of the treatments that we do. So that's a whole other project. And then there's the daily living stuff. And so I feel like I have this very acute sense of how my attention is being pulled in different directions. And I keep reminding myself that depending on what I'm doing, my attention, my ability to focus on whatever it is that I'm doing literally determines what appears in my reality. So everything from my thoughts, my moods, my emotions, even the sensations that I'm experiencing are, I'd say 90+% of it is the result of what I'm choosing to focus on. And of course, it's easier said than done. It's one thing to say, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this thing right now and focus on it. And then you forget to turn your phone off and the text messages are buzzing, or someone walks in the door. Or I had my buddy Bruno here. He's an old pit bull. Every time the Amazon or UPS guy shows up at the door, he goes bananas and starts barking. So the point being, there's all these distractions that are constantly pulling us away from the thing that we want to focus on. And so today I thought, let's just practice flexing that attentional muscle and really feel and experience what it's like to focus on something and then keep our attention on the thing that we're focusing on. So here are the two things that I'm talking about. Focus has to do with I'm choosing to shine the spotlight of my attention on a specific task or object, whatever it is. And then the hard part is concentration. So sustaining that focus over time, in lieu of all of these distractions that keep popping up. It's our ability to notice the distractions and then reorient our attention back to what we're focusing on. So let's do a little focus and concentration workout. So close your eyes. And just notice what happens when you close your eyes. Where does attention go? And I'm intentionally not saying much because I really want you to notice what's the natural tendency of your mind in terms of where your attention goes when you close your eyes. Does it go to thoughts and thinking, or do you notice the sensation of the breath, the sensation of your eyes? Our attention is so vital and so important to the subjective experience of our lives. And this is why, if you think of social media or marketing and advertising, really all they're trying to do is trying to catch our attention. They're basically trying to hijack it and say, hey, pay attention to this, notice this. And so our ability to resist that or intentionally choose where instead we want our attention to go or where we want it to stay, it's a huge difference in terms of our moment by moment experience. So, in the spirit of a kind of attention workout, let's focus on our feet. There's nothing special about feet. I'm just intentionally picking a body part to focus on. Just notice, is this the first time today that you're actually aware of the fact that you have feet and toes? You wiggle your toes. If you're wearing shoes, notice what it's like to have feet and toes inside of shoes. If you're not, just notice the sensation of your feet on the ground. There's nothing inherently special about feet in this moment. It's really just an object that we can choose to focus on. See if you can really get into the full experience of having feet. So sensations and temperature. Maybe you have a visual of what your feet look like as you're wiggling your toes. And just settle into just the experience, focusing attention on feet. And then notice all the subtle or not so subtle tugs on attention to take our attention away from the feet. Could be sounds or sensations or thoughts. Doesn't really matter. The goal is just to notice them and just keep concentrating, keep that sustained focus on feet and just watch, just observe. When you notice distractions, just note them and just bring the attention back to feet. And when we focus our attention in this manner, it's as if there's nothing else but feet in our experience. Like our reality, we're really focusing on the sensation of having feet and toes in this moment. It's a pretty all consuming, sort of captivating experience. And usually the mind doesn't like that over time. So it's just a question of a few seconds, or it's just about waiting. And the mind is going to want to wander and engage with other stuff. It's normal. And the goal right now is just to keep coming back to feet. If the mind has wandered and it's sort of grabbed your attention elsewhere, gently return back to feet. What are my feet doing right now? And just to be clear, the goal of this practice here is not to, get really good at connecting with our feet, but it's really just to illustrate this point that wherever our attention goes is really what creates our subjective reality. And if we're able to intentionally focus our attention and keep our attention on an object of our choosing, it really influences, if not creates, the reality that we're having. And obviously, this we can then translate this to focusing or concentrating on a conversation or an interaction that we're having with someone, or reading a book, or learning a new skill, or eating food. It's really just about being able to choose what we're focusing on and then maintain that focus over time. It's a really useful skill to cultivate. Is your attention still on feet right now, or has it wandered? Just notice. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Long, slow exhale through the mouth. So shifting attention from the feet to this sensation of the long, slow exhale, emptying your lungs, your belly, and then hold that exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Even slower and more deliberate. In through the nose. Slow out breath through the mouth. Full attention on the sound and the sensation of exhaling through the mouth. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes, coming back. Um, yeah, I hope it's clear. This is like going to the gym and just doing a workout in the gym, but obviously the goal is to live life out there, and not just get good at focusing on our feet, but just using it as like an exercise. So hope that was clear and helpful.